advanced beyond the demilitarized zone around the Golan Heights on the Israel-Syria border for the first time in 50 years. Joining me in the studio is Shehata from BBC Arabic to just bring us up to date on some of the latest developments. Saeed, let's just start with the US to begin with and its operations in Syria in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, according to the US Central Command, it said it launched more than targeted 75 targets of what is called the Islamic State personnel and camps. Because they are still there, and according to Americans, said in the first 6 months of 2024, 153 attacks conducted and launched by the so-called Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. So they're still active in northeast Syria, in Raqqa, and Deir ez-Zor in some areas, and there's more than 10,000 prisoners of the so-called Islamic State members in prisons controlled by the Syrian Democratic Forces, which coordinate with the Americans about that. In addition to that, there is more than 45,000 of the relatives in camps like Al-Hol and Rouge and other camps. And all of them, they can be an army again and carry more attacks, because in vacuum, in anarchy, in chaos, they are active, and what happened before under Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. So they are dangerous, they are a threat. So the Americans take this kind of actions in order to mitigate any potential threat coming from them. But they are dangerous, and they need the other parties in Syria, especially the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, led by Abu Muhammad al-Julani or Ahmad al-Shara, to be on the same page with them.
Now, Assad fled when the rebel group called HTS swept into Damascus. This group now is on some terrorism list. What will happen as far as that's concerned?
There is talks in America to lift it from the terrorism list, because Abu Muhammad al-Julani and his group is prescribed as a terrorist organization. In this case, they cannot deal with them. But because the political reality, they are in power, they are in control in Damascus and other areas. They are leading the militant rebel groups. So the only way is to lift them from terrorism list. And I think it will happen, because political reality requires that. In addition to that, Abu Muhammad al-Julani himself, he changed his discourse. He has moderate discourse now. He said all the minorities will be protected, no attack for public organizations. In addition to that, he cooperating with the current Syrian Prime Minister to make the government going and doing their jobs until there is transition of power. So his stance, his change of discourse is giving assurances for the West, especially for the West. And even when he was in Idlib, he established a government, it's called Salvation Government, and he was trying to do not only a jihadist group, but also is a civil government. So is trying to give assurance to the West that he's not going to be a jihadist anymore, and he is for inclusive Syria and non-sectarian Syria.
Now, Bashar al-Assad, his family, they've fled to Moscow. Russia has called a Security Council meeting today. That will take place later. What can we expect?
We will expect talking that all forces in Syria, including the HTS, which is the main group now, and the other pro-Turkey militant groups who advanced to the coastal Mediterranean, where is a stronghold of the Bashar al-Assad. So there is talks between Turkey and Syria, especially because they are main players in this area, to find a solution, political solution. And they will talk mainly about the Security Council Resolution 2254 of 2015, which drew a roadmap for the peace, where there is negotiation, there is transitional, there is elections supervised by the United Nations, and this fair and election will be after a new constitution is written by the Syrian people, and is open for all sectors, all groups from inside Syria, outside Syria. So the hope is implementing the resolution into reality, so Syria can see a democracy and will be a better future for the Syrian.
And just briefly, Saeed, I know you know people personally who are in Damascus, who are in other parts of Syria. What have they said to you about what's been going on?
They told me there is still some they can hear some bullets, some explosion, but not there is no violence there. There is no people killing there. So there is no revenge from, for example, the Alawite with the sects of Al-Assad. So far, there is calm, there is control from the HTS and other groups. There is some looting happen, and this was expected, you know, like when chaos happen. But so far there is no like violence, and they are saying they are expecting better future, and they hoping that the transitional period will not be long and peace will prevail.
Okay. Saeed, thank you so much for bringing us up to date on some of the latest developments. Saeed Shehata there from BBC Arabic.